So this is question 12 from your book on page 14, and it's asking us to find the mass of a compound that will contain 1 gram of oxygen. This is 12a, and you can hopefully apply these steps to solve B and C. So we want to know what mass of this will we have to get 1 gram of oxygen. So two ways we can do this. The first way is through percentage. So if we figure out what percentage mass of this is due to oxygen, for example, if I had 100 grams, how much of that 100 grams would be oxygen, we can then figure out how much of this total we need in order to have 1 gram of oxygen. So first, I'm going to find this percentage mass of oxygen. So the relative molecular mass, you should be able to calculate 12.01 for the carbon. We have 4 hydrogens here, 3 plus the 1, and then plus the oxygen gives us a relative molecular mass of 32.05. And for a percentage, we do oxygen's contribution, so 16.00 divided by 32.05 times 100 gives us 49.92%. So whatever mass we have of this, 49.92% of it will be oxygen. Okay, so this times by 0.4992, whatever mass of this compound we have, times that will give us the mass of oxygen. Well, I want 1 gram of oxygen, and so I set my mass of the compound as an unknown, rearrange, and you will get 2 grams of this compound is needed to have 1 gram of oxygen. Another way you could solve it is using moles. So in this case, I'm going to use the mole ratio, so between oxygen and the compound itself. So I want 1 gram of oxygen. How many moles of oxygen is that? Well, that's the mass divided by molar mass, 1 divided by 16, gives us this many moles of oxygen for 1 gram. How do I get that many moles of oxygen? Well, let's find out. The ratio of oxygen to moles of oxygen to the moles of this compound is 1 to 1, because every mole of oxygen, right, if I have 1 mole of oxygen here, it means I have 1 mole of this entire molecule. To contrast that, if I was looking at moles of hydrogen, well, in every 1 mole of this compound, I would have 3 plus 1. I'd have 4 moles of hydrogen. So there would be a 4 to 1 ratio there. But here it's just a 1 to 1 ratio. So solving for that, 0.0625 would need how many moles? Okay, so that would be an x over this equals 1 over 1. And so x would just be the same. Okay, 1 mole needs 1 mole. Okay, so now we move on. Okay, if we have 0.0625 moles of my compound, what mass is that? So we times it by the molecular mass, and you'll see that you arrive at the same answer. I need 2 grams of this compound to have enough moles of oxygen to get 1 gram. So 2 solutions for the same problem.